Hello and welcome to the Dauntless live stream from the floating island above the beautiful city of Vancouver. I am your community manager, Crash 7800. Thanks to everybody for your patience. It took a little bit longer than usual to get started. That is so that we can get you guys an early look at a dev build, which is going to be a first time thing for us. It's been a while since we've done our last live stream. We've been working hard, taking your feedback into consideration. And now that we have it, we are working on things that we are extremely excited to share with you. So it's going to be really great. Aside from that, we are going to be showing you actually for the first time again, like I said, the dev build. This is going to be something that's really new for us. Hopefully that goes smoothly. That means that we're going to be kind of going behind the scenes, looking at completely unfinished code and giving you a preview. What we're also going to do too is we're going to look at information that we released today for the coming storm. We're going to look at the roadmap together a little bit. We're going to play some games together. We're going to have our Director of Marketing, Nick Clifford, on. He's going to talk to you guys. He's tan and happy, recently back from a vacation. And in fact, I think we'll probably bring him on right about now. Nick, you want to come on a live stream?
Yeah, let's do it.
Hey everybody, this is Nick Clifford.
Hello.
Hey. I know what you're thinking right off the bat. You're looking at Nick and you're thinking, man, I would very much like to date and marry this individual. Too bad. Nick just got back from his honeymoon.
Off the market.
Off the market, unfortunately. How you doing?
Good, doing good.
Got a little coffee?
Yeah, I got my...
Piping hot?
Yeah. Ready to rock and roll.
Thank you. Nick, by the way, if you heard earlier the patcher kind of chime, that was the sound of Nick getting the dev build ready to share with everybody.
Yeah, we got some really cool stuff for a coming storm that we haven't really showed off before, so it's going to be first exclusive. It'll look really good.
It's going to be very good.
Yeah.
Let's get started. Let's start looking a little bit at the blog that we put out today. So we put out a brand new blog today. This is your first look at the coming storm. So we heard back from the community, hey, we'd really like things to maybe be moving a little faster, a little more content more frequently. We took that to heart. And so we're getting back to our roots of sharing stuff with you guys earlier and rolling stuff out as it becomes available and not hoarding it. So the first thing that you'll notice as we talk about it in this blog here, right, is that Aether storm that you guys have been seeing outside of Ramsgate, that's no coincidence.
Oh.
Yes.
That's supposed to be there.
Yes, that is.
Okay.
That is not goofstorm.gif. That is.
Okay.
That is a real.
I should back out that check-in.
You should back out that check-in. Yes, goofstorm.gif is an actual thing, and as we'll learn further on this blog, that this is the result of a behemoth named Koshai. Very spoopy. The Austrians are coming to town, bringing their armada, of course, as it says here. So one of the things that you guys have told us is that you want to see more variety on the islands. And looking at these concepts will let you kind of draw your own conclusions. But what is going to be evident is that there are some new environments coming along that you can explore. These brambles may or may not be the calling card of the threat that you'll be facing. And as we said, that is, of course, holla at your boy, Koshai.
Woo!
Koshai. It's a very nice shot.
I think that's the first shot we've ever released of him.
Yeah, this is absolutely the first shot of Koshai that we've ever done.
Yeah.
And I think Nick and I can both vouch, having done a couple of hands-on sessions with this guy, much more terrifying in motion.
Oh, he's tough as nails.
He's tough as nails.
Yeah, I was actually just talking to Reed, the behemoth designer, my way over here, and he was like, yeah, man, like I'm really excited because I think Koshai actually has the potential to be harder than Rezkiri and Shroud. And now currently slamming my face into both of those behemoths, I am just really excited to get dumpstered even more.
It's going to be perfect.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
It's going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So again, if you guys want, we uploaded this at maximum resolution for you guys to get in and just be like, yo.
Yeah, that's a tree, dog.
Like, ooh, what's this?
Yeah.
Is it, oh.
Those are spoopy eyeballs.
Well, and you have to wonder, right? It does appear to be a convex lens. I'm not an optometrist or an ophthalmologist, but I do feel that Koshai may be farsighted.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you get in there, really get in there, you may have an opportunity to dodge some attacks. This looks like he does a very good job smelling, though. Mm-hmm. So don't think that you can mask your scent. This right here, These are what I refer to as the ouchables.
Yeah, don't touch those.
No, don't pack that for lunch. Don't pack ouchables. Yeah. Anyway, if you want to get in there and dig around and really understand the splintering forces that rend trees, that image is available at the Play Dauntless blog. So.
I think we should. I mean, I was talking with Katie on the way over here as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Because that's all I do. I just talk to people all day and drink coffee. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's what marketing does, right?
Yeah. All day
it's
long,
easy.
baby. Yeah. This is root beer, by the way. I'm not getting sauced on stream.
Yeah.
I promise.
That's sarsaparilla.
Oh.
Koshai is really cool because he's one of the first behemoths that focuses kind of more on like the nature aspect of things. So plant life, vine life.
Vine life.
Yeah, vine life.
6
That's the
seconds.
good life.
6 seconds at a time,
Yeah,
baby.
dog. I drive my car a quarter mile at a time, 6 seconds at a time. But he's one of the first kind of more organic, more natural behemoths. You know, like we've explored Pangar, who's big frosty giant. We've
Big frosty
explored
giant.
Embermane, big fire swolecat.
Yeah.
Koshai is kind of one of the first behemoths where we explore like more natural, more organic, biological aspects and themes.
I'm into it.
And to go with that, we have a brand new island that he'll be on as well.
Yes, exactly. The other thing too, you guys, I know you're super excited to hear about the Austian repeaters. So this is your first look. So as it says here, as you dig into, we're getting some requests for volume. We'll fix that in a second. As you guys can see, and as it says in here, the repeater is not really any one weapon. It is a way that weapon pieces come together, right? So it is a way that, you know, depending on which part you're using here, you know, you've got the barrel, you've got this where the ether is involved, you've got the handle, the grip, you know, all of these things, it's really up to you. And as it says in here, that is kind of the hallmark of Austian engineering, where you'll be able to mix and match those parts to suit your mission. If you really want to read these notes, if you really want to get in and really look at these models, again, this is available on the blog, and I think it's going to be great. The Austians, of course, are not just bringing the repeaters with them, they're also bringing along new versions of classic weapons. So you guys have seen the different kinds of skins that you can get. These will be available. You can see that kind of really stark industrial Austian craftsmanship on display here. And we actually, if you guys are into concept art and previews of coming things, there's all kinds of Austian stuff that we've been putting on the Instagram as well. So I think you can imagine, you know, this is a very Austian look, and you can imagine how, you know, this really nice, very svelte-looking person here would look great with a kind of more demure industrial look there.
Austians, very functional people.
Very functional. They love Rammstein.
Yes.
Yes, that's canon. And of course, the Austians. And in a world like the Shattered Isles, you know, you're not going to be anything without your ship. It's a land of floating islands. People want to be on these ships, and this is kind of one of the earlier sketches that we did for the Austian Ironside, and you know, these are what I've heard, by the way. These are very hard to park.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, hard to slow down, very hard to park.
Yeah.
And parking in Ramsgate really at a premium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried parallel parking one of those?
No.
Reverse not work so good.
I knew a guy that looked strangely like this guy, who very, very bad at parking ships.
Ooh, I like where we're going with this.
Yes, yeah, we'll have to see how he does coming into
Little known
Ramsgate.
fact about airships, no emergency brake.
No,
You can't
It's like
Tokyo drift around the corner.
it's like throw out the anchor. It's
Yeah.
like shh.
That's 2 Fast and Furious references in 10 minutes.
If we
We'll
get
see how many we can go.
If we get 3 Vin Diesel shows up, you can summon him,
Ooh.
but it has to be good.
Base diesel.
Please, base Diesel.
Well,
Please summon.
I was about to say, you know, the airships don't run on diesel, but that just felt like too much.
Yeah,
of a low-hanging
it has to be a good one.
Yeah.
And I don't want to hear like some kind of like I am Groot. It has to be Fast and Furious Diesel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, Groot shares a lot of shocking similarities to Koshai, our new behemoth, and I will just leave it there for now.
I like that. You know, the other thing you could do too, though, is you could probably get away with like I feel like 3 Riddick references is equal to like 1 Fast and Furious reference.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
Okay. Well, we'll come back to that.
Yeah.
And the other important thing, we're gonna dive into the roadmap a little bit now too, because we want you guys to really understand that this is not all going to land at once. So come August 8th, you guys will get access to some of what we've talked about here, and then over the coming weeks, it will continue to improve, and you guys will continue to get access to more and more of it. This is part of our commitment to you. As I said, we've heard what you've said. You want to have more content more frequently, and that is how we're delivering this. So as we dive into the roadmap here, yes, good, okay, and I'm not logged in, so all of the ugliness can't be seen. We had this patch go out yesterday. That was to lay some groundwork for some network issues. Those should be improving. If you, by the way, are seeing an issue where you disconnect after hunts, or you just get disconnected from the game in general, send me a note on Twitter or Reddit. I have a special build I can send you, and we'll get some debug info from you. But I think that's getting better. So as you can see here, on August 8th, the coming storm will begin. And we'll have Koshai. He'll be coming. We're going to get the God Hand fixed, finally. Yeah. It's very exciting. Dougie's been watching Ghostbusters on loop, nonstop, for, I think, the last 2 weeks. And he thinks he finally figured out how to get it fixed. So
you don't cross the streams.
You never cross the streams. Yeah. Sometimes cross the streams. Grenades, I think we're going to look at those today, actually.
We'll debut the grenades today.
Yeah, so I saw some requests in the chat to get more details on like actually show you guys something, like really reward you guys for coming on the stream, and so you can absolutely look forward to the grenades being used on the stream for the very first time. You guys will have that new island. Someone was asking, will you be able to fight old behemoths on the new Koshai island?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. I think Shroud and Rezakiri are the two confirmed ones right now.
Yeah, I think over time we'll just continue to build a stable of islands. Yep. Also, by the way, I was just talking to Kyle, who is one of our artists and animators. I think he has a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Very handsome.
Very good at Dragon Ball.
Exceptionally good haircut.
Yes.
Yes. And he was telling me, by the way, too, he wanted everyone to know that we're working on animations for when you come off the Aether vents.
Yep.
So when you hit them, instead of just being like, hello, you actually,
yeah,
yes, ha-ha, you will actually kind of like, you know, stunt on kids.
Yeah. I heard something about a 3-point landing too.
That, you know, sometimes you have to Neo it up. If you want to see different kinds of animations, send us your ideas. Like, here's what I don't want. Here's what I don't want you to do.
Very serious.
I do not want you to go and get a chair from the kitchen, and I do not want you to set up a camera in your bedroom, and I do not want you to jump onto your bed and do animation ideas in midair.
That's how we do half the emotes here.
Yes, but that's how we do it.
Yeah.
The lawyers have informed me that we do not want to encourage people to jump off of their furniture.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well.
Don't do that. Do not send us videos. Do not send us videos of you jumping around, coming up with emote ideas. We do not want to see that.
Okay. Well, the lawyer did say if you say it 5 times, it makes it legally binding.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Vin Diesel works here. Vin Diesel works here. Vin Diesel works here. Vin Diesel works here.
He's not the candy man. It doesn't
Vin Diesel
work
works
like
here
that.
5 times. Legally binding. Welcome aboard, Vin. We're super excited to have you. At any rate, we'll have that new island, new storyline. So the storyline, we've got our writer who's, I think, already been doing exceptional work, working on some really cool new stuff. And that story, by the way, is going to evolve based upon what you guys do, what you choose to interact with, what's exciting to you. Do you like the characters? Do you not like, regardless of whether or not like there's a difference between, oh, I think this is a well-written character and this is a well-written character, but he's a butthole. Like, do you think the characters are kind? Do you think that they're evil? Do you wish ill of them? Do you want them to do well? We will listen to all those things, and that will not necessarily dictate what happens with the story, but it will inform the way that we that those people exist in the world. Because you exist in Ramsgate, and your emotional outpouring impacts the world around you.
Yeah, I mean, it's like everything else in Dauntless. We like to hear feedback. We like to listen to the community, hang out with the community. So, story very much a part of that process.
Absolutely, 100%. The Ostians are coming. I think you guys are really going to dig on them. Again, that is really only one of the other societies. So for the uninitiated, the Shattered Isles, big place. Ramsgate is kind of on the frontier. It is the last chance gasp before you go out into your inevitable death. And all of these other societies exist, right? And the Ostia is just one of them. And it's one of the first that we're really going to see. Koshai cells will be coming in. So these are going to be new ways to customize your armor. We know that that's really important to you guys. We'll touch on it a little bit in a little bit of a second, but we're still also working on the cell system in general.
Oh, we skipped over Koshai armor too.
We did skip over Koshai armor. Oh no! So just like any behemoth, when you slay them, you have access to their sweet, beautiful power. And we'll get to Charog armor in a second too.
Yeah.
So, and then we're always working on networking and scale. Nothing super specific to put in there right now. But then at some point, and again, it's as we put in the kind of weekly reflector, we are trying to move to a weekly cadence. We are trying to move to a place where we're updating weekly. Obviously, depending on how well the coming storm lands, this first update will dictate if we need to take some time to polish it up or fix bugs or what it is. But we are trying to get to a place where this is all happening weekly.
Well, and the philosophy too around, we've done previous events in the past where we did Dark Harvest, we've done the Frostfall event, and at both of those packs, everything landed all at once, which was awesome because it was this big, meaty piece of content. But what we found is we ended up playing through it very quickly, and we intended, Frostfall to last for a long time in winter. And what ended up happening is most people got through it in a couple of weeks, which we just hadn't anticipated really. So what we want to do with Coming Storm is kind of elongate a lot of that content. So week 1, Koshai arrives in the Shattered Isles, the Ostians arrive, there's a whole story, even a new cinematic that goes with it, which is great. And then in the weeks following, you'll start to see things like the Charog armor come through, some more cells come through, ultimately leading up to the Ostian repeaters coming through as well. So
correct.
Every week there'll be a reason to come back to Dauntless, check out new content.
Yep.
And Crash, our wonderful community manager, will make sure you guys are up to date of all that.
Yeah, and speaking of the cells, by the way, one of our most requested things is an update to the cell system. Yep. That is coming. A new way to forge cells and interact with them and use them and all those things. That it will have their own vendor.
Yep.
I'm working to get a news article up for you guys as soon as we can.
I'm hoping they name the cell vendor Perfect Cell.
Your DBZ fighter cell is so taxing.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for that.
We're not here to talk about how toxic a fighting game is.
No, we're not. No, yeah. You're going to EVO this year, right?
No, unfortunately I am not. I went last year, but between the marriage and time off and Coming Storm hitting, it was just a perfect storm of got him of stuff. So I'll go next year. I'm going to try to make it down to SoCal Regionals maybe later this year.
That'd be fun.
That's where I'm from originally.
Yeah, nice. So dive into the roadmap. If you have questions, let us know. We are here to give you guys that intel. So I think without further ado, Nick, what do I need to do to get the dev environment rocking
dev build
here?
running. So
that one?
That's prod.
Okay.
If you want to play with the community, or click on that one. That one's the dev build.
Yeah, play with the community. We'll do that in a little bit.
Here. All right, let me just get over here.
For anyone wondering, by the way, this login will not work on prod. So don't you go trying to be sneaky boys guessing Nick's password.
Oh no, now you got my email. Send me all your love letters or hate mail, either one. I love reading messages from you guys.
Yeah. It's good. All right. Ooh, this is exciting.
Yeah. You want to try?
Because I haven't got to play with the grenades. Have you got to play with the grenades a bunch?
Yeah. Well, a little bit.
Well, how about we?
Well, we should.
How about
let's switch because
okay,
I have to
that's
actually
fair.
load us into an island with everything, and you don't know how to do that.
He knows what he's doing.
It's okay.
Okay.
We have our own. We have our own specialty.
We do. Okay. Okay.
While I get this loaded up, do you want to maybe pull away to Twitch chat or something? Answer some questions?
Yeah. If you guys have any questions, it's going to take Nick just a moment to get everything all powered up and in there. And so if you have any questions, you can let him know.
Oh.
Hello, Nick.
I hear Benson's coming back. Okay.
Hello, Nick.
He's
Hello.
Yeah, Benson. Benson is in Ramsgate. There was an outcry that he was not in there, but he is in there. If you really loved him, you would know that. And but I have it on good authority after talking to Braden, the man with the plan, who looks over Ramsgate, that Benson is going to move to a different roof, and it will be very hard to get to him. But
boys assemble.
yes, we had a competition in the office to see who could get to them.
Yeah.
And Kyle, I think, actually pulled it off and won a Starbucks. But
Nice.
it is not going to be easy to get to him. So we know that you guys want to scramble across the roofs. We know that you want to challenge. And we know you want to find Benson. So he's going to be there.
You want to punch away from this real quick?
Oh yes.
Yep.
Okay, go to.
I am afraid to touch the master switcher.
I don't know if we can. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, we can do this.
Oh, there
Okay,
we
that's
go.
nice.
You see, now we have.
Yeah, we have the
wait,
chat.
no, wrong side.
We can look at the chat. Yeah.
I know my own left and rights.
Yeah, it's good. And that will get, Nick's just got to root around through some stuff that, very secret game development stuff.
Yeah, very, very high tech.
Got to tighten the graphics up on level 3.
I can't believe we get paid for this.
I can't. My mom's not going to believe it. Bangholt wants to know, when are we going to get more lanterns? There will be a Drask lantern. And I think we're going to.
There is a Drask lantern, but they are working on
Oh,
one.
I'm sorry, the Koshai lantern.
Yes.
Yeah, there'll be a Koshai lantern. Will the docks be open again? We must repair our airships. Our OSHA rep let us know that the docks are not suitable for pedestrian exploration. But we can talk about opening up the docks. I think that like the docks are not as finished as other places. They were not as, I think, really ever intended. Most of Ramsgate, most of the places people managed to get to, we were not thinking people would get to. So if we open them up, we want to make sure that there's a reason for you guys to be out there. We want to make sure that it looks good, and all those things too. I'm curious if you devs actually play the game at the end game level. For example, many players complain about the difficulty, Res or Shroud, and they're both relatively easy, but they were further nerfed. Yeah, so we definitely do play the game. I remember when the game went into open beta, a lot of us I think we just like marathoned it.
Yep.
And we got all the way to the end. A lot of people are at the end. Some of us.
There was something really surreal about, you work so close to the game for so long.
Yeah.
That at least me personally, I stopped seeing Rezakiri and Shroud as endgame behemoths, and I saw them as encounters alongside everything else. And I, didn't really think about things in terms of natural progression.
Yeah.
Unlocking new zones and new gear and all this. Oftentimes when you're developing, you play a lot of stuff in a vacuum. And when open beta came out, it was super awesome to get to play the game as it's
meant to be
with
played.
The community, we end up going through encounters where we don't have high enough level gear, or we don't have the right amount of gear, and it becomes a challenge. And Shroud and Rezakiri, I think it was earlier this year, sweet spicy boy Jordan and I were playing Rezakiri with a bunch of Twitch streamers and press, and a whole bunch of people from the community, just kind of for the first time, really.
Yeah.
And I foolishly was like, oh yeah, I'll just give us the Alpha Simsing armor. It doesn't matter, it's fine. And we go on tour and we just get absolutely dumpstered and we're losing every time, and everyone's like, don't you guys even play the game? Are you bad at this game?
It's fun when you get dumpstered in front of the press.
Oh yeah, no,
That
that's
feels
great.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yes. So to answer your question, yes, we absolutely do play the game, and I think that we're always working to tune up the difficulty. I think that nerfing Shroud and Rezakiri, I don't know that we've really nerfed them. I think that there have been some changes for quality of life to bring them more into their intended state. And again, like Nick said, we play the game so long that we kind of fall into our own patterns of how the game gets played.
Well,
and a huge part of it is learning about how you guys play it. Because with a game like this where you're kind of expressing yourself through combat, no two people play the same.
Yeah, and it sounds kind of like I'm being a little overconfident, a bit of a jackass, but when you play Drask 500 times,
Yes.
you become very, very good at dodging tail swipe. And it's very easy to like get to that point where you think like, oh, Drask is actually a fairly easy encounter, and we put him into progression fairly early on, and then it's oftentimes easy to forget like, oh, I remember the first time I played Drask.
Yes.
I didn't hit him once, and it's like, you just build up.
That was the first thing that you put on my to-do plate when you hired me was
you actually
was solo Drask.
Yeah, you had to solo Drask to get hired.
That's true. Do
Yeah.
you want to? Are we ready to show this yet, or are you still? Getting
Yeah, I think so. I'm just trying to find our big beautiful boy here.
Very good.
Yeah.
Ooh!
Yeah, there we are. So
wait, and hit one of those hit one of those,
yeah.
so that we
We
can
do
see that.
I also apologize. I am playing on mouse and keyboard. I'm going to do my best to not make the camera whip around super quick. But yeah, you'll get to see one of the new
Let's do it.
one of the new animations when
Let's
you hit the
do
vent.
it.
Oh, it's because I had my weapon out. Let's put that away
yeah.
real quick.
Okay. Again, guys, this is a development build. This is code in progress.
Yeah, so like everything.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, like everything, it's still in development. Lots of work being done. I'm waiting for Kyle to run over here and just slug me in the side of the head. But he's hard at work doing lots of great stuff for you guys.
Yeah. I love how the fireball is rotating in there.
Yeah, man. Well, it's an
Looks like
exotic.
I got this skull.
Oh yeah, so
forge.
let's let me get into some better lighting, and then we can take a look at this new exotic armor, which I believe we put a blog out about the Charog exotic here.
You know what? I'm gonna actually too while we're doing this.
Yeah, so this is pretty well lit. So I'm gonna.
Hang on, let me.
Oh, there you go.
I had the brightness turned a little bit
Oh
down.
yeah, that's okay. So this is the Skull Forge, which is
Yes.
the helmet, and Molten Edict, which is the hammer, which are two new exotics based on Charog. And I am just going to detach the camera here so we can get a closer look. So Skull Forge, very heavy metal.
Very heavy metal.
Very cool.
Yes.
One of the unique abilities with the Skull Forge is as you do damage, you build up power.
Yep.
The flames get a little bit more intense, a little bit more furnace-y. And you actually build up a stamina reserve. So the more aggressive you are, the more stamina you end up with, so you can kind of dip into that reserve.
I think this will be a really fun item for our speedrunning friends.
Yes, it is very aggressive.
Yes, and I don't know if it's coming through. It is with the compression on Twitch, but such amazing skinning work here, like the subtlety of the scaling on that cowl part of it, like just that really subtle textures. I think looks so cool.
And I think I mentioned this, but as you build power, you'll notice it represented in the flames that come out of the furnace. So we are just going to jump right in and take on Skarn here, get this boy going. So the other weapon I'm using, or the other exotic I'm using here is the Molten Edict, is the new hammer. And inspired by Charog's numerous fireball abilities, every time you fire the Molten Edict, it'll do a variety of different attacks. So you can actually shoot fireball artillery very similar to the way that Charog does it to you, which is very cool.
I like it.
Tornado.
Oh, he is just on fire.
No, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I did not do it. I did not actually do it.
It was your first skill check on Twitch.
And yeah, it's all right. So yeah, you'll see there when you do the 4-shot. See if I can do this without my HUD. Nope, failed reload. When you do the 4-shot hammer blast, you'll notice you get that slow-moving fireball.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, hit me with that slow-moving fireball again.
Okay, well, I gotta. Let's find an opportunity to squeeze it in there.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
There you go.
Like
You'll notice like it just kind of travels through the battlefield.
Look
there
at those
doing
damage numbers.
I definitely did not do an active reload on that one.
You tried?
Either. Yeah.
I want to point, yeah, but you know what? Oh.
Yeah, so just the regular shots even, you get to lob these massive fireballs out, which is really cool.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Can you imagine Bash and Pangar from
I'm gonna
far
need
away
I'm
with
gonna need
that?
some like mortar lava hype in the chat is what I'm
Okay.
definitely gonna need to see is mortar lava hype. I want to point out though that like you're actually not doing bad on the reloads despite the fact you're playing without a HUD.
And you'll notice here, like as I do my rocket jump, I'm leaving
And those
behind
are
those little
seeking
landmines before.
it,
Yeah. So really inspired by Charog and all the lava balls and all the abilities that behemoth has. Really fun weapon, really cool. And I think, let's see if I can get my distance right. We've also got grenades as well. So that's a healing grenade that I just lobbed.
Yeah.
Oh,
so this is our first look at grenades.
Yeah, these are grenades. We're just all about range combat right now.
What's up, dog?
They're equipped to your consumable items.
Mm-hmm.
So Frenzy Potion, Stamina Tonic, those items you'll now equip with grenades. And that one I just unleashed, you saw those green balls flying off. This is the healing grenade. So when you lob it, it hits the behemoth, does some damage, and then those healing orbs bounce off.
Gotcha.
So fellow slayers can grab them for a boost.
Gotcha. So this is another way where, because I think a design philosophy we've talked about for a long time is making sure that even if you're bringing along items that are maybe more support focused, you're still responsible for doing damage.
Yeah.
And so these are items that, in order to heal your teammates, you can't just spam heals at them, right? You actually have to hit the behemoth.
Everyone's always got to be in the thick of combat. That's pretty central to everything Dauntless. And I think we also have, I'm going to try and not get spiked.
Very nice.
We've got, that's the healing grenade, duh. This is the incendiary grenade. So you lob it and it creates a nice pool of fire underneath your target.
Very nice.
Yep. And then we've got the cold snap grenade, which you can see it launches ice everywhere. So super handy for the behemoths that have weaknesses to certain elements. So cold snap grenade, great for Embermane. Incendiary grenade, great for Pangar, great for Scrave.
And these are placeholder. Well, not they're work in progress animations, work in progress effects. But I think they still look really good.
Yeah.
Even just like right now. And what I really like is that
he is hungry.
He is hungry.
I have been lobbing grenades at him.
Well, you're basically like a human hot pocket right now.
Yes.
It's like you're like that hot pocket where you're like that hot pocket where like you microwave it for a little bit too long because you like it very, very hot. And you know that you should probably like cut it open, let it sit for a little bit, but you do not.
There's that slow-moving fireball again.
Yeah, that's very nice. But you just bite right into that hot pocket, and all the lava sprays out in your mouth.
Yeah,
hurts very bad. That's you.
Yeah, and if you want, you can do the double boost, and you get 2 lava balls behind you in your evasive maneuver.
Got him.
Yeah, got him. But yeah, that's just three of the grenades. We have a couple more in store for you guys, but
Can you interrupt with the grenades?
There is an interrupt grenade.
Okay.
I do not have it equipped right now. I'm struggling to remember the name, but it is effectively like a stagger grenade that really helps you at those like key moments when you need to interrupt a behemoth. But yeah.
And then are these grenades? I'm just reading chat questions here. Are these craftable items then?
Yes, I believe so.
And they're consumable, right? So you don't just have like 1,000. You're not just like, ha-ha, I am Grenade Man.
Yeah, it's it's a lot like the other consumable items.
I liked Mega Man 8. Yes. Had Grenade Man in it.
Yes, it did have the Grenade Man in it.
Yeah, it's a very good one.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Other question. This is a great question. Beaten Shroud Rezakiri many times. Do we plan on keeping the game challenging while implementing new equipment like that? Because it might. Yeah, so I think one of the questions is how do we keep gear like this from trivializing encounters, right? Like this is a very powerful thing. And I think the answer to that is that, today we're showing off this, eventually we'd love to show you guys the repeaters. They're not quite ready to share yet. We're showing off the grenades. But as you guys use these, we will learn again about how you use them, ensuring that we're going back, tuning up content, keeping it fresh, but also creating new challenges and new ways to take old challenges and keep them engaging and entertaining and challenging too, right? So I think that we're looking at Evergame and we're looking at the ways that you interact with existing behemoths and seeing, what is the smartest way to keep that challenge coming. I think like right now it's a little premature to talk about that, but suffice to say that the way that the thoughts that I think you're thinking based upon your question, which are how do we keep this content fresh, how do we keep it engaging, how do we keep it challenging, we are thinking the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And we definitely have ideas, we have designs, and we just need to put them to good use.
Yeah. So. And that's one of the things as we've thought about Koshai, who we've talked about being a very challenging behemoth, is what are the other ways that people can engage with that content maybe a little bit earlier on.
Yeah.
So sometimes that manifests in the form of the rogue behemoths, kind of like the smaller, call them baby versions of behemoths,
sure.
Where they're a little bit easier. They're kind of a smaller slice of what the bigger behemoths are all about. But Koshai specifically is actually going to enforce. He's going to have his influence felt across all of the Shattered Isles, which we won't go into too much about what that is today because we want it to be a surprise. But you'll notice his presence across all of the Shattered Isles, which is super cool.
Yes. Azari 101 wants to know what happened to more stuff like clan perks, basically guild perks. We are absolutely 100% still keeping an eye on those systems. We want to bring those to the game. I think that the feedback we've heard from the community is where we need to put our focus is on creating content, and obviously having an active guild and those perks can help drive people, but we're really focused on getting you guys behemoths, encounters, and these things. That being said, we are definitely still working on guilds, and those will come in the future.
Yeah, and larger social features beyond that, right?
Yes. X Lapo wants to know, are Winterhorn, Scrave, I believe, and Thunderdeep Dross coming back? They will come back, so they rotate in and out. Kogath does a really great job of keeping the wiki up to date. So if you head over to the wiki, you can actually see what's coming up. So
yeah,
there you go. Reflex wants to know, is Koshai a boy behemoth or a girl behemoth? It is very hard to get close enough to a behemoth to lift up its skirt and check. So I would recommend that if you want to do some field research, you could do that when the Coming Storm lands.
You know, it's interesting. We always, you know, according to the lore, behemoths are gender neutral, gender agnostic. We try to refer to them as
biologically, they are not similar to other animals in the way that they reproduce and behave.
Yeah.
So the way that you would apply gender or sex to a mammal does not necessarily apply to a behemoth.
Yeah, but it is kind of fun side story while we wrap up this hunt here is oftentimes when we start developing behemoths, we give them code names before we know what their real name is. So I know this is going to shock you, but Skarn's code name is Rock. Nailed it. And oftentimes that code name can sometimes influence how we refer to the behemoths internally. So Charog, for example, we called Sally because
Salamander.
Her initial inspiration, so I'm calling her, was from a salamander. And then we brought in other influences like a walking volcano and alligator and Godzilla and all these other great inspirations. But because we started calling it Sally around the office, it just kind of like fell into, oh, that's a she.
Yes.
That's my story.
That's a good story. Featherfave wants to know if the press kit will ever include audio files. Yeah, so I'm actually working with our audio director to try to get like behemoth roars and other sounds to you guys if you want to use them for ringtones or something else like that too. So that will probably happen in the future. Do repeaters have interesting combos mechanics like other weapons, or are they plain guns? Oh yeah, dog, we can't just bring you combo list stuff. There's gonna we'll dive into that in the future. I think like speaking about them right now is just going to be more of a tease than anything. So,
well, I mean, one of the reasons why we're still working on the repeaters is, being a ranged weapon that can kind of change the paradigm of how you engage with behemoths and combat and everything in Dauntless. But one of the things that's super important to us is you're never like way out here on the fringe of combat, just safely picking away at a behemoth, right? Like you always have to be in the thick of combat. You always have to be in danger and in skirmish. So while the pistols are a fully ranged weapon, you're still incentivized to stay close and in the thick of combat.
Yeah, good point. Somebody wants to know, this was a good question, I want to make sure I don't miss it. So we've talked a little bit about how Koshai will change encounters with other behemoths. Ready to talk about that?
I mean, we can talk about it at like kind of a high level, but it's kind of better left experienced. I would rather...
Yeah, I don't want to like spoil it. Yeah, I don't want to kind of blow it.
The story of Koshai and the Ostians is super cool. Like we said, there's a cinematic coming with it that kind of introduces all the changes coming to the Shattered Isles. Same goes for how he influences other behemoths, which is super cool. But we think you guys will be really happy with it.
Yeah, agreed.
I definitely just got KO'd.
Did you fail?
Nope, I used my revive, I'm okay.
Oh, okay. Okay,
If I get knocked down again though.
Yeah, well you can't see your health. So you don't, but I mean.
It's hard mode.
But if you don't get hit.
Iron Man.
Yeah, Iron Man. If you don't get hit, then you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, well.
Daxter wants to know if how we do anti-cheat and if we're going to implement a third-party anti-cheat. We keep an eye on cheats. I can say, having worked on a lot of PvP games, that the degree to which anti-cheat is, a problem is bigger for PvP games, just in terms of how many people actually sit down and make cheats. That being said, there's the other side of the extreme where you do not want anti-cheat software that is going to bog your computer down or create false positives. So we, in general, we're keeping an eye on cheats. We do knock them down. We do patch out cheats. And that's the route we're going right now. If we need to get more aggressive, we can get more aggressive. But I think we're actually in a pretty good place right now.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with anti-cheat and things with like hacks and speed hacks and all that is you never really like rest on your laurels. Like you never say like, we beat the speed hack. That's the end of it. It's like every day there's a new challenge, and we have a team that's dedicated towards making sure that the game is not only a safe place to play, but is also hack and cheat free.
Yeah, 100%. The other question is, are dual behemoth fights coming back? Are we bringing back fights with more than one behemoth?
Ooh, I hope so.
I hope
really
so too.
like
I don't
those.
actually know off the top. I do know that we really like those, and the reason that they're not in the game is not because we don't like them. It's because we thought that we could do them better. So instead of just being like, yep, now you're in a pit and there's two, look out. Like we want to make that a more compelling experience. So they're not out of the game because we don't want to do them. They're out of the game because we want to make that more special than just click and drag two behemoths.
Yeah.
So definitely look forward to challenges. Look forward to the group of people who I assume would be working on that are really especially creative and fun folks, and I can't imagine that they don't have something truly awful planned for you. So
yeah. What else you got for me?
Let's see here. Is the pike wound mechanic still being looked at? Yes, we're definitely keeping an eye on that to make sure that it's useful. There's a really good conversation about that on Reddit that I've been digging into, where you kind of want to, as the pike user, you kind of want to coordinate with your team so that, especially while you're trying to establish a wound, you want them to work on a different part of the behemoth because you don't want the part that you're working on to be broken, and then so that's important. Will there ever be a healer weapon class? Right now, I don't see that happening. Again, we don't really think about we don't really think about things in terms of like the holy MMO trinity, healer, tank, DPS. Yeah. We think about things in terms of like, okay, is this a fun weapon to use? Does it fulfill a role? When we're building exotics, it really is about taking the power of a behemoth, the inspiration of a behemoth, and making that work. And so yeah, I think that a dedicated healer does not kind of fit in that paradigm. But as you can see with things like the healing grenades, having more options for utility is always something that we're exploring.
I mean, we often say that we allow players to soft spec into different classes and different roles, right? So I think that is him. So there isn't a healer per se, there isn't a rogue per se, or a tank per se, but Ian is a super aggressive player with the axe, so he'll often take Frenzy Tonic, things that give him damage, things that let him play high risk, high reward. Mm-hmm. I'm usually left to pick up the pieces, so I'll take a healing totem. New healing grenades sound really cool to me. So like I said earlier, we want everyone to be in the thick of battle, in the thick of combat. But at the same time, you can kind of soft spec into those roles. Like if you want to be more support class, if you want to be more DPS class, or if you want to play more high risk, high reward, you can do that as well.
As long as you keep scooping me up off the pavement, I'm going to keep doing it.
You'll never learn your lesson.
No, I will never learn.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to kind of adjust I think the color on the stream is a little whacked out. I'm going to get it back towards, looks a little saturated. Yeah. Let's see here. I'm getting a lot of questions about how we're balancing existing exotic weapons. What's going on with the hunger? What's going on with God Hand? So I think part of it is that because there's an argument that goes around where it's like, why would I ever play with with these exotic weapons when some of the other weapons have straight up better DPS? DPS is not the end-all be-all of what makes a weapon special. Those effects are really important. Now that being said, if from a community perspective, we're seeing that the effect does not contribute adequately to the extent that you'd rather have the damage, then that's a different conversation. And I think that overall, when we go from having the 60 people in the studio to having the millions of people playing, what we learn, what we see, how people use it is really different. So I will definitely follow up to see if I can get specifics on how we're tuning up exotics, but the general philosophy is that we do want to make sure that they're special. We do know that you guys spend a ton of time crafting them, and that's super important, and we want to honor that. We want it to not only be like, I did it, but then have that reward of having the exotic be good. Specific question from Zero Majin. That's like Majin Buu, baby Buu, Zero Majin. We want, will we have Chainblade exotics? So we started off with a sword exotic and a warpike exotic. Now we have a hammer exotic. I'm sure that somewhere there is a concept art for a Chainblade exotic. I would not be scared of not having those in the future. Yeah. What are our thoughts on the Chainblades in general? I think the Chainblades are actually in a pretty good spot right now. Again, we have access to some information and data. Like we can straight up see how much data or how much damage is being done every day for any weapon, or on average. And I think the Chainblades are actually in a pretty good spot. Yeah. Especially with the new elemental proc stuff.
Yeah, Fox and the combat team are working hard on the elemental stuff.
Yeah, 100%. Is everything perfect right now? Nah, dog. Like we have a lot of work to do on balance. We have a lot of work to do on things like cell systems. We are true open beta in that anyone's welcome to play, but really everything's subject to change. So. Yeah. But yeah, the other thing too, right, is is damage the end all be all? Is the most important thing that Chainblades do provide damage? Probably not. Is it possible to be the top damage dealing player on your team if you're using the Chainblades? Absolutely. Is it more important that you don't die and that you have the mobility? Yeah, it's hard to do damage when you're dead. So,
yeah, oftentimes, well, that's it. I couldn't beat Skarn with an exotic setup.
Yeah, but it might also be Dev Skarn. Like maybe he's debugged to never die. Maybe you're bad.
I am bad. I am not good with the hammer. I am an axe user by
Mad
trade.
because bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we previewed exotic hammer and exotic grenades. Skullforge and the exotic helmet and the grenades.
And grenades, yeah.
We did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. So I think probably we might actually wrap a little early today, unfortunately. We've got quite a few things to get done. We're already planning for PAX.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we are going to wrap today. We are going to be doing dev streams more frequently and on a more dependable cadence. We know that we kind of took some time away. Not a ton of time, but just maybe a little more time than we would want. And that was because we really went heads down on your feedback. So look forward to more info. If you are asking questions in chat and you're not getting your answers yet, we will post the VOD of this and to Reddit and probably the forums, and go ahead and just reply with your questions to that, and we will go ahead and answer them there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's no question we won't answer. We're building the game for you guys, so let us know. So I think that will just about do it. Give me one moment. Nick, is there anything else people should know while I...
Well, we got a lot. I know we covered a lot today, but we've got a lot more coming very soon in the coming weeks. We got a couple more blogs in the pipe that take a deeper look at a lot of the coming storm and new things, like we said, grenades, cells, all that good stuff. We have a new developer video that we're working on right now.
Yeah.
We filmed it this week, and we'll hopefully have it out to you guys maybe by next week. That covers a lot of the upcoming changes to Dauntless. Yeah, and I think that's it. Lots of good content in the pipe.
Cool. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to raid on over to our friend's place.
Ooh.
So let's do it. So yeah, until next time, I am Crash 7800.
Squidmo.
And let's get this raid going, guys. We're going to go over and see Flexnia. Ooh, That channel is intended for mature audiences. Let's. Apparently, Twitch is not going to let me raid the mature set, so we'll just do that. Oh, okay, never mind. The raid's working. So, everybody head on over to Flexnia. It is intended for mature audiences. I'm sure it's not that bad. How bad could it be? No. Everybody say hi. Everybody let them know that the Dauntless crew says hi. And again, follow up with your questions, and we'll give you some answers. Bye.
Bye.
Where's my end one? I have one for this. It says...